Heather up here at Tactical Response, and it's been a while since I did like one of my little foraging kind of videos, but today I wanted to talk to you about something that I guess it's not really considered foraging. I grew these myself, but it is calendula and making calendula oil. So calendula is a flower. I got some dried here in the jar. It is an annual flower, but they self-seed pretty, I wouldn't say aggressively, but just they self-seed very well. I have only ever had to buy calendula one time. I do go and deadhead them and collect the seeds myself, so I can kind of put them where I want. But anywhere that I've planted it, even if I didn't go out and deadhead them, they would start growing, and they come back every year. You can plant them in the winter. They will overwinter and then grow first thing in the spring. So why might you want calendula? So calendula does have something in it called flavonoids, and those flavonoids have some anti-inflammation properties to them. They also have some healing properties. And so, you know, I'm a little crunchy, if you will. I do stuff that sometimes might not have just a whole lot of data to back it up, but it just makes me feel good, so I did anyway. But I did go and I found at least two, just for, you know, a quick thing to tell you guys, for the calendula oil, which is what this is, and we're going to talk about what I did to make that today, to show, you know, is there any real science backing up that it can actually help heal anything? So one of the studies that they did, it said it was in the Journal of Family Medicine and Primary Care. They looked at the effectiveness of calendula ointment on cesarean section scars. They did it, it's only on 72 women. Again, there's not a whole lot of studies that were done on this period. This is just one of the few. But it did show that women who were treated with calendula ointment did heal faster and reported their incisions were less red and swollen whenever they were using the calendula ointment. Another one was done on the healing velocity on people with venous ulcers on their legs. And it showed that people who were treated with calendula oil had a 7.4 healing velocity, while the people who did not use it only had about 1.7. So, and there were no negative side effects that were shown on using the calendula as well. So, just two instances that showed that it does have some kind of effectiveness. This isn't just some mumbo jumbo. Again, there's not a whole lot of studies. There should be more, but I also think it helps, makes me feel good, so I use it anyway. So we're done with that now. So I made calendula oil. I have the oil that I used. I used sweet almond oil. I looked up different kinds. There's jojoba oil, almond oil, olive oil. Depending on what you're wanting to use it for, the kind of skin that you have will depend on what kind of oil you want to use. The oil that you use on your face is going to be different than the oil that you are going to want to use on your hands. I would recommend, you know, messing around with some different oils until you find out which one works for you. So I used the almond oil. So what I did was I took a bunch of these dried flowers and I filled this jar up. Then I took that almond oil and I just filled it in until it was up to the top and all of the flowers were covered. This has been chilling in my basement for months because it gives it time to suck out all of that, you know, anti-inflammatory goodness. And so about, I don't know, just ever so often, I go down to my basement quite a bit. That's where my washer and dryer is. I would go and just give it a good shake, right? And so now I am going to strain it. And that's just going to get all of the yuckiness out. Oh, no. That's not. Maybe. We'll see. We might make a mess. Pretty sure this is what happened when I did the, what was it? The elderberry syrup. I made a big mess the time I did that too. Okay. So I usually do this stuff at my house. So we're going to take that and we're going to dump it. And we're just going to Oh, it smells so good. Let it do its thing. Should have used a spatula, but you can see this jar was a lot smaller than this jar. I did spill a little, which sucks because it did take a long time for me to get this to do its thing. I'm going to use this to kind of squeeze all that oil out. Alright, so we're going to squeeze all that oil out. And once I have the oil, I can kind of use it for whatever I want to use it for. What I am going to do with it, I'm probably not going to use it as just an oil. I have some bee balm at my house. Man, and I have some shea butter. And so I'm probably going to take that shea butter, some of this oil, and the bee balm, shea butter, this oil, and I'm going to make a little concoction. If you guys want to see how I do that, I would be more than happy to do that on video for you guys as well, as long as you don't mind some humming and a little bit of mess making, right? Then I'll do that for you guys as well, so you can see what that looks like. And for me, this is going to be like more like a lip balm, probably, right? That's what I'll probably use it for. It's either that or a hand cream. I do a lot of work in the garden. I go and I take care of the goats and stuff, and so my hands get a little rough, right? And recently I've been doing, I take all of the guns apart and clean them here at the shop and stuff as well. So like all the Force on Force guns and a lot of the rental guns. So there is the oil. So if you don't want to wait, because again, I steeped this for months in my basement until it had plenty of time to extract all of its properties. If you want to speed up that process, you can actually take, whenever it had the oil and all those flowers in it, you want to dehydrate these flowers first. So we'll go pluck these whenever they're fully bloomed, more like early morning, late afternoon, not in the heat of the day. Like I said, early morning, late afternoon is the best time to pluck flowers. You would dehydrate them. If you don't have a dehydrator, that's totally fine. I just laid mine out on like a little wooden board, and slowly but surely they dry until they're like nice and crispy. If you put flowers in an airtight jar and they are still damp or have moisture, they will mold and then they'll be no good, right? So they need to be totally dry. But once they're totally dry, you cover them in oil like I told you. You can actually put that in water in a crock pot on low, and you can let it slowly warm it up for probably like 4 to 8 hours, and that'll draw some of all that anti-inflammatory goodness, all those flavonoids out of there, and then you can use it a lot sooner, so you don't have to wait. As I said, like 4 months. I am just lazy. I'm a lazy gardener, and I like to do things the easy way, so I just put them in there and put it in my basement because I wasn't in a hurry. If you are, you can do that. So if you guys want to see me actually make the balm, just let me know. Something to keep in mind, allergies. If you got allergies, make sure to go and look it up. Make sure this isn't going to affect you. Joey, my husband, he is allergic to like everything. When the seasons change, he can go outside and his face swells up. So especially, I think it was ragweed and daisies were two of the big ones I saw that were on the list, that if you're allergic to those things, probably shouldn't be putting calendula on your face, right? So even the calendula oil. But you can see this is it's like a pretty color, right? All right. So, that's what I got for you today about calendula oil. Again, I like this stuff. People are a little bit crunchy. I like going out, growing my own food, making my own lip balms and lotions and different things. I think it's fun. I know where it's coming from, and I just enjoy it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it too. So that's what I got for you today. And always remember that your responsibility to be ready for the fight never ends. Done.